That's what I love so much about our next guest is that he's such a ray of positivity sometimes when the world is kicking you. Our good friend Rodney Orr from Tider Insider. Rodney, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you, Aaron?
I'm doing well, thanks. I guess first things first, how would going to what you expected from the start of the year to where they are 3 games in, how does that match up with what maybe where you thought this team would be?
Well, I really had a difficult time evaluating the team in preseason in terms of where they might be because, Aaron, we've talked about it, just all the new faces on offense. So I really had a difficult time getting a read on, how quickly will some of these offensive line positions and that group come along. What about the quarterback? Was it going to be a redshirt freshman, a true freshman, or Cooper Bateman? So many different things, and the running backs, and then you switch the center and right guard there a week or so before the opener. So I just thought there were so many different things offensively. Now defensively, I thought this has a chance to be a really special group, and I think they've kind of done that. And I think the offense, I would say, if you're asking me now today, I would say if I would have had to say back then, I wouldn't have thought they would be where they are. Where we've seen them before. Obviously, they have a lot of room for improvement. But I think instead of saying improvement, I would say they have a lot of potential. I think that they've got a really high ceiling. I think, Jalen Hurts obviously is only, playing 2.5 games or whatever, first road start in the SEC. And I think when you look at him and once he gets all of his timing down and, his understanding and what he's doing in the passing game, you almost wonder how good could this offense eventually become.
Rodney, you touched on the changes on the offensive line. We've seen a couple now. Do you get the feeling that the current lineup we're seeing with Ross at left guard and Shank at right guard and Bradley Bozeman at center, do you think that's going to stick, or is Lester Cotton still in the mix to earn some playing time down the road?
Well, I think he's definitely still in the mix, but I think right now, if you just kind of look at it, I think the comfort level with the experience that both Pierce Baker at left guard now, where he started 15 games, Shank at right guard, where he started 15 games last season, Bradley Bozeman's starting to come around at center. I think probably the comfort level might be a little bit higher with that group now in the interior. I thought they did a nice job against Ole Miss, got some good push. And I just think, again, I think it's that comfort level and the experience that those two guys have at those positions, Pierce Baker and Shank, that make them probably the route that we'll see this offensive line go. Now, again, do I know that? No, but I'm guessing right now that's where it looks like it's headed.
Talking to Rodney Orr of Tider Insider. Rodney, this has been perplexing to me, and I'm not a coach. I'm not there for the majority of practice, but when I watch Robert Foster play, he looks to be a playmaker, yet when we get on to Saturdays and see him on the field, he never really gets into the game very often. Do you have a handle on that, or is it just simply that Cam Sims and Trayvon Diggs and Garrick Dieter are better, or is there something else going on with Robert Foster?
I think probably the big thing with Robert Foster, obviously he looked like he was headed in the right direction last year, and then the shoulder injury and set him back a little bit. But I just think it's consistency in terms of running the right routes, doing the things he's supposed to do consistently. Maybe those other guys have kind of been better at that, so to speak. And I'm not sure as we speak today, Aaron, that Robert Foster is 100%.
Right.
I think that's going to be something that's going to be worth watching. See how he kind of over the next few weeks, let's just say, see if he if he has an opportunity to play or not. But I tell you what, my understanding is, and you've probably heard the same thing. I think that they're really high on Trayvon Diggs as a wide receiver. You saw he came in the game even before Foster did last week. I'm not even sure Foster played it down at wide receiver, and Sims was the first one off. I think those are the two guys to really watch as we start moving forward. Especially with Ardarius out.
Ronnie, is Damian Harris kind of supplanted himself as the main running back, given the moments he had in the Ole Miss game when the game was on the line and picking up those first downs, the long run he had. Obviously, Bo Scarborough probably hurt himself with a fumble, but what do you make of that rotation? And when you add in, we've seen a little bit of B.J. Emmons, we've seen a little bit of Joshua Jacobs. How do you think that rotation is going to go going forward?
Well, I think one thing is I agree with you. I thought that, as impressive as that long run was that he had with the vision and the strength to maintain balance and hold on the ball and all of those things, I thought the runs later were even just as impressive, shorter, but very impressive. And I think if he wouldn't have gotten caught up in traffic on that one there late in the game, he might have broken that one. But, the run where it was third and short and, he just showed the ability to, get that tough yard. That was very key. I think that's what you've got to have. So he's starting to show the ability to make good runs, make good decisions on those runs, break the long ones, and also the determination, the toughness, and the know-how to get that tough yard. I think that's really key. On Bo Scarborough now, I thought Bo looked a little bit better running the ball in this game. I thought it was kind of iffy call on Shank, I thought, on the holding.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was a really good run by Bo right there. He was within a whisker of breaking that one. I just think that, one of the things Nick Saban, in my opinion, is best at is developing players, bringing them along at their pace, and allowing them to make some mistakes and teaching them, from those mistakes how to grow as a player. And I think that's one thing we're going to see with Bo Scarborough again. You'd make you a little bit nervous if he's carrying the ball late in the game when you're trying to ice it or whatever. But, I think, again, that's part of the learning process for him, and it'll be interesting to see how he grows from that. And I thought Josh Jacobs looked really good. I know you were probably impressed with him, too, on that 25-yard run. He made some nice moves there. He shows some speed. He shows some quickness through the hole. I think he's a strong kid. He's low to the ground. He's got good balance. It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to start earning more carries. And also, I know that they've been extremely high on B.J. Emmons. He's got a lot of potential, too. So I think these next 2 weeks are going to be really kind of interesting to see how the carries go.
Rodney, staying on the offensive side of the ball, you've already brought him up. Jalen Hurts, who we've been talking about for a long time now. Could you have foreseen him coming along so quickly, whereas the guy's the SEC Offensive Player of the Week in his second career start? Pretty impressive on the road, down 21 points in a hostile environment. Really never blinked. Just continue to compete, and probably the thing that you probably noticed, just like I have him and kind of been beating the drum on, is the poise he showed when he got hit and fumbled. Mm-hmm. Never blamed the offensive lineman. Never looked to the official for a flag. Just went to the sideline, went back in, and led a touchdown drive.
Thought that was, one of the turning points of the game right there was when, he got hammered. I mean, I was wondering, Aaron, is he going to survive this hit? And he gets up, he goes to the sideline. If you saw him, he was there, kind of encouraging his teammates on the sideline. I'm like, geez, he should be the one sitting down,
Right.
And so I thought that was pretty amazing right there. But also, think about this. He just turned 18 years old. He takes that hit. His team's down 24-3. I mean, he just gave up a fumble return for a touchdown. How does he respond to that? Well, he steps up on the very next play and delivers a strike down the middle to Calvin Ridley for 22 yards in a very clutch moment. I mean, this is this is an opportunity for Alabama to get back in the game. And if they don't take advantage of it because they started at midfield,
right,
then it could be a really long day. But he delivers that strike. He comes back. He has a 22-yard run right up the middle after taking that big hit, just right up the middle to the 6. They score. It's 24-10. Eddie Jackson returns the punt. It's 24-17. And I just think that was an impressive, as you would see. And I'm not just talking about for a true freshman quarterback. I really think for any player, any quarterback that takes a shot like that to respond the way he did, just extremely impressive.